card that I pulled for where is your inner child, sorry, not where, what is your inner child currently going through? What are the energies surrounding your inner child? And the first card that I pulled was enlightenment. So your inner child is going through feelings of being inspired. Your inner child is having epiphanies, discovering things about him or herself that they didn't know before. They're feeling very inspired to move forward, to take action, to have some kind of movement, and just taking this time to learn new things, to discover new interests, new hobbies, things that your inner child has always wanted to do, but for whatever reason has been unable to partake in as of late. So this enlightenment that your inner child is going through is I'm getting the energy, the feeling of it's very uplifting. Even though the energy of your inner child seems very heavy at the moment, this new energy that he or she is moving into of enlightenment is feeling very light, almost buoyant, like floating on water and just being carried away by the water. So it's feeling very positive, it's feeling very new. The next card that was pulled for what the inner child is going through currently is retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. So your inner child has been is feeling somewhat overwhelmed by, possibly the holidays, if you celebrate the holidays of, social activities, family functions. Your inner child is feeling somewhat tired and restless, which explains the heaviness of the energy of your inner child. He or she is feeling somewhat sluggish today because it's just been overwhelming, having to deal with the holiday season, the time off of work or school, or just having the routine kind of change. So your inner child may be having different sleep patterns, if that is the case. So your inner child just really needs some rest at this moment and wanting to really take some time to just disconnect from the world. Okay, so the next card that we pulled out for what your inner child is currently going through is breaking free. So again, the wanting to disconnect from the world, this next card really makes sense of how she wants to break free from things that she feels maybe trapped in. Maybe she feels just like in a box and wanting to move away and step away from things that have just been going on for a long, long time. She just wants to break free from that. She wants to break free from old ways, and she's now very open to new ways of being, new ways of thinking, new ideas, new concepts, things that are new to your inner child that they haven't yet explored. So they're really breaking free during this time of enlightenment, of inspiration, of this new discovery, kind of like a new adventure. Your inner child is breaking free from these old patterns. And the next card that came out was the self-forgiveness. Let go of old guilt and remember that you're God's perfect child. So the card of forgiveness has been resurfacing for the last couple of weeks, maybe the last month, as I've been doing readings for the inner child. And it seems like forgiveness has been a reoccurring card. No matter what deck I use, forgiveness is always a card that seems to pop up. So today's card is self-forgiveness. So not so much that your inner child has to forgive others, but more self-forgiveness of herself, of maybe old behaviors, of attitudes, of things that were said. Self-forgiveness and directing that self-forgiveness inwards. And that could also mean that you, as a divine masculine, divine feminine, your inner child is needing you to forgive them. So needing to forgive maybe when during mood swings or tantrums, or when emotions have not been able to be expressed in a healthy manner, your inner child is really looking for forgiveness in how he or she has been dealing with their feelings and emotions in the past. Your inner child is learning through your example of new ways of expressing him or herself, new ways of being, and realizing that certain ideas, certain thoughts and actions lead to how he or she feels about himself or herself. So she's really beginning to have these epiphanies and realize that she is the one that is responsible for how she feels, and she's no longer looking outside of herself or himself for blame, that she is totally responsible. So there's a lot of growth, a lot of enlightenment happening with your inner child, and this is all because of the new energies, because of your journey, divine feminine, divine masculine, of going within and learning self-love. Your inner child is really feeling the connection and really feeling the desire to want to go within, and whether you've made actual contact or connection with your inner child does know that you are now going within, and he or she does now feel that, and it is very exciting, and this energy is helping him or her to propel forward with her growth and learning. So the next card that came out as to where your inner child is going or is experiencing is morning affirmations. So if you're saying affirmations in the morning, your inner child really finds benefit in having these affirmations. It's a good way that they can start their day. They feel the positive energy being created. So if you're in this practice, they are definitely feeling a shift in their moods, in how they're experiencing their day. So if you're not, this is just guidance in saying that your inner child does respond to affirmations. Whether or not your inner child believes it or not, your inner child does respond, and your inner child is impacted and affected by affirmations, whether you yourself believe them or not. The repetitiveness, if an affirmation is being repeated, your inner child tends to accept it through repetition. So these affirmations are really helpful in your inner child's growth. Okay, so the next card that we pulled for the inner child is what does the inner child want? What does the inner child want to say to you? This is the exact card we got last time. I just opened it now, so I didn't really get to see what it was. So it just surprises me because this is probably the third reading of this card coming out, which is resurrection. So your inner child wants to tell you that they are making a comeback, that they have had feelings of being suppressed and repressed, but they are making a comeback. So if there are certain things that you want to do that just come out of nowhere, that actually surprise you, this is your inner child taking a stand and making a comeback, wanting to show you the activities, or the things that used to excite you when you were younger, when you were a child growing up. So if certain things that now come up in your awareness, messages, your inner child is saying to be open to these new ideas, these new activities, this new journey that he or she is now embarking on and wants you to be a part of. So during this recovery, your inner child is looking to you for guidance, for support, for encouragement as he or she embarks on this journey of feeling renewed, of feeling recovery. And it's really important that you communicate. Your inner child would like to have this communication with you. So the next card that came out was children. Your love life is being affected by children. So divine feminine, divine masculines, whether you're in union or whether you're in separation, your relationship with each other, even your relationship to yourself, to the divine, is really being affected by your inner child. If your inner child is unhappy, if your inner child is feeling neglected, if there's a part of you that feels hungry all the time, or that there's just this empty pit that just never seems full, it's your inner child's feelings of emptiness. So when your inner child feels this, it is the energy that you are carrying around. And so this energy somewhat repels what we want in our lives, whether that is a loving, harmonious, supportive, expressive, beautiful connection in your relationship with each other or with others. Because of this energy that is within us through our inner child, this is what can really impact and make, and how your relationship can be affected. Sorry, I just went blank for a second there. So I guess that's a real confirmation that what I was saying was really important. There's a message for you there. For you divine masculines and feminines, is that the state of being of your inner child greatly affects your relationship to each other. So to really honor and be aware of what your inner child is going through, because whether it's emotional or physical, if your inner child isn't experiencing well-being, it affects you and therefore affects your partner. It affects your relationship. It affects the world around us. So this is a real message that your inner child or the universe wants to really give you, because it's very important. So the next card that we have for what your inner child would like to communicate to you is time to move on. It's time to let go of the old, worn out, so that the new can come in. So this really ties into what your inner child is wanting to say to you and what he or she's going through. So this recovery, this comeback, your inner child wants you to know that she or he is coming out of the closet, in a sense, coming out of the darkness, coming out and into the world. So whatever you've been holding on to, your inner child wants you to know that to let that go, that you need to help each other, whether that's you helping your inner child let go, or whether that's your inner child wanting you to let go, whether that's letting go of a relationship that isn't moving forward, whether that's letting go of anything toxic in your lives, whether that's unhealthy food or unhealthy thoughts or unhealthy living situations, unhealthy jobs, that your inner child is really wanting to express to you that it is time to move on, and that they are ready. They are making this comeback because they are ready to move forward, to move on, and they want to hold your hand. Your inner child wants your guidance to help move out of this energy that has been stagnant, that's been holding you back from what you truly, truly desire to create in your lives. So this time to move on is really, your inner child really wants you to take the steps in which you need to move on. Okay, so the next card that we have, and the last card again, is letting go. So again, this ties in with the previous card, that it's time to let go of the old so that the new can come in. This is like your inner child can't stress it enough. Whether this message is from your inner child or if it's from the universe, I mean, it's all one. We all work together. So the communication that's coming up is to please let go. To please let go, to please let go of any inhibitions I'm getting. Your inner child, through this card, I'm really getting the sense like, let go of all inhibitions. Let go of any feelings of embarrassment or shame, or wanting to hide yourself because you're afraid of being judged, wanting to hide away from the world and not shine and show who you are. Because the world does need to know who you are. The world needs your gift, and it is our privilege and our responsibility to share those gifts in however way makes you most happy, and in whatever ways make your inner child happy. So this is a really strong message from your inner child, from the universe, to just let go of all those inhibitions, and just your inner child wants to be free to express who he or she really is, who they really are to their core. In order for your inner child to really express themselves, they need to have a sense of feelings of safety. So again, just letting go of any feelings of not being safe in the world, so that your inner child can really feel safe to express who he or she really is, and they want to share that with the world. So this message is to just really let go of everything that is just holding ourselves back, so that we can freely express our inner children, so they can have full expression in who they are in the world. So that's our reading for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, I'm wishing you all so much love and peace.